Oh, hello, I'm Janet Samborski, and I'm a member of the Stop.
When you originally came to to the Stop It program, you were dealing with certain issues in your life. Can you briefly share what was going on?
Sure. I really didn't realize that I was angry. I was stressed out. I was very unhappy with situations in my life as far as work goes and home life. And then I went to the website, the Anger Alternatives website, and took the quiz and realized that the issues that were stressing me out was because of some anger issues, and that I needed to address it.
So when you first started coming to the group, can you just describe what your emotional state of being was at the time? What words would be appropriate? Fearful, defensive, depressed, frustrated, sad? What are your words?
All of those.
So would you tell us all of them?
Yes, I was definitely depressed. I was very unhappy, sad, frustrated. I was out of control in several areas of my life, and I didn't want to admit it.
And how did the behavior affect your family, your work?
Yeah.
Friends?
I feel like I probably wasn't as efficient as I wanted to be at work, and I think it caused problems. And part of the problem was we didn't talk about what was happening, so it was lots of frustration on all of our parts. Also at home, I wasn't talking at home. I felt like I couldn't speak up, that I wasn't being listened to. That was part of the problem. And I think in reality, I just was afraid to speak up, and I don't know why, but that was a big part of my problem.
What was the first most challenging lesson for you to learn when you got to the Stop It program?
To speak up, that it was okay to say how I felt and to admit what I wanted and to say what I wanted.
Able to do that? How'd you feel?
I felt more empowered.
Okay, so what did you have to learn in order to... I don't know what that sentence. How was the work you did in the Stop It program? How has it changed your life? How do you feel about yourself?
I do feel more self-confident and better able to speak up for myself. It's a continual growing process. You just go through the program and you learn some skills and some things to help, but it's not fixed like that. So continual practice, but definitely being able to speak up. And my husband and I have really changed our lives. Our marriage probably would not have lasted before we did the program. I was able to speak up and ask him to do the Dave Ramsey course with me, and I figured he'd say no, but he said yes, and so it just opened the door for us to work through some.
So it allowed you to
things we
communicate
needed to.
better.
Right. Yes. And that needed to happen. So.
And how do you feel about yourself with what you've accomplished?
I feel good. I feel like there's room to grow, definitely, but yeah, I'm glad about having taken the course and learning more about myself and learning some of the skills to help me through those times when I'm frustrated and stressed out.
What would you say was the most important lesson that you learned in the Stop It program?
To stop and think about my triggers as far as when something's going on, to know what's not okay,
What's not okay for you?
what's not okay for me, and what I want, and to be able to communicate that.
Could you give maybe an example?
Oh boy. Caught me off guard.
What's one of your triggers?
my stomach just gets tied up in knots, and I start having little mind talk, and
And so, in the past, what would happen? Before Stop It Group, what would happen when you had a trigger in the mind talk?
I'd introvert. I would just kind of go over to my corner. And recently I've been having some situations at work where I felt criticized. I guess that's one of my little issues too. And I would start the little mind talk. And so I've started being able to stop, say, okay, it's okay, it's okay. We all make mistakes, and just concentrate on what you have to get done, and get through it.
So that's a big accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it take for you to accept the fact that you are okay? Because that's something that we worked a lot on in the group.
Oh yeah, talking about it. I really liked the idea of having other people talking about their situations. It helped me to remember some of the emotions, some of the things that have gone on in my life, and deal with that. And dealing with it, I think, helps me to realize that I'm okay.
And since you've been in the Stop It program, how has that affected family, friends, co-workers, relationships in general?
Well, definitely, it's affected our marriage. We talked about that. As far as work, I left the one place. I think that was a healthy thing for me and them. As far as friends, I think maybe I'm a little more open and try to be more honest with myself and with them.
And dealing with issues similar to yours, what would you say to them?
I would say definitely it's worth it to get some help. And Anger Alternatives was an excellent choice for me. It helped me work through a lot of things. I had support of the group. I think it's really important to have support, and to be able to talk about it and not just go blindly on the path to destruction.
Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to say?
I just like to emphasize the group is dynamic. The group, having several people talking and supporting, and the process was dynamic.
Can you relate a little bit also to I statements, how that was for you before?
In control of myself. I'm not in control of you. And so I speak with I statements. You said something and I reacted. It's my own emotion that I'm dealing with. And so, say you made me mad, you did something, and I reacted, and that's my emotion.
Very good. Very good. You can say that because we can cut stuff out, Jerry.
Okay.
I can't read your writing.
I know, I was like, strategies in the group.
I'd make it the stress.
One of the things that I was dealing with was a lot of stress at work, and I really feel like I wasn't okay at that point. I didn't have a lot of self-confidence in what I was doing. And so coming to the group and going around and answering our questions, it just was a very safe environment for me to work through that, the stress that I was dealing with.
How did you feel about being in a mixed group?
At first I was a little apprehensive about being with a mixed group, guys and gals, but I think the guys had a perspective that I needed to hear a lot of times, so I felt like that was healthy for me.
Great.
There was more than once that once somebody said, oh, I didn't think about, they related what I had to say about my husband and my situation. Oh, I didn't think about my wife feeling that way, so, and definitely I got their perspective too.
Cool.